All right, folks. Very good evening to you all. This is Aviral from the Tradepsyche. Today is Saturday, 10:15 p.m., 13th of March, and I welcome you all to the post-market analysis, outlook, and expectations from the market for Monday and for next week. All right. So in this video, we'll discuss that how were the markets today, what was our prior discussion, and we'll discuss some of the crucial supports, resistances, and the price action which market can follow on Monday, right? And over the next week, right? So this video can be a slightly longer video because we discuss each and everything, right? And in this video, we'll also see multi-sectoral analysis that other than Nifty and Bank Nifty, what other sectors are doing, right? And we'll also analyze the OI data, the change in OI data, and the total open interest in order to figure out that what is the bias in the market, right? uh, so let's start the analysis, right? And before starting the analysis, I'll be leaving the link to my Telegram group in the description box below. In that Telegram group, we'll see just now that what kind of discussions do we have, right? And basically, if you are a trader and if you are someone new to trading and you need guidance that what to trade, how to trade, when to trade, you can check that Telegram group out, right? If you are a intraday swing positional whatever kind of trader you are and you are looking for guidance, that might be the place for you, right? Because we do not share the trades, but we do share the ideas, we do share the knowledge which is required, we do share the skill, right? So it's not a trade distribution group, it's a trading skill imparting group, right? So I'll be leaving the link to that group. Do check it out, right? So let's start the analysis, and let's first go to our Telegram group and we'll see that what discussions we have had today, and post that we'll start our weekly analysis. All right, so let's go over the Telegram group and let's see what discussions we have had from today morning. We mentioned today morning that as per the Gifty, we'll open 220 to 250 points down, and if you see on the charts, we opened roughly around 200 points gap down itself, right? And we mentioned that change in OI data, good amount of shorts have got added today. Major support we mentioned was at 23,600, but if you guys see, we opened roughly around below 23,600. So it was very natural that all the bulls which have got added today, which got added yesterday, sorry, not today, they will be trapped. And I think the moment markets opened, I think they would have exited. Total OI we discussed, bulls are looking equal to bears on total OI. Clearly this is very less OI, means option selling is happening very less. That's why VIX is high. So naturally in a high VIX market, there are very less option sellers in the market. Major resistance will be 23,600, 700, which we never touched because we opened below 23 500, right? FI index positioning, FIs have added aggressive shots yesterday, whopping 20k quantity. So we discussed that the FI shots are at record level. Then we discussed the participant wide data. Clients, they expect a negative opening and small buying from the bottom. They expect slight positive open but good selling from the top. Pros, they are expecting bar and dips market. As pros are bullish, post the gap down, we might not see bearish markets. Rather, we can see short covering in the second half. So today, the participants wide data, the analysis, right? I think pretty much in every analysis we see that the data, it works perfectly, but since it's a probability, so out of 10 times only, 2 times it can fail. So today, the clearly the data and the analysis failed today, right? And that was because, see, the data works, the data can work fine, the analysis can work fine, but due to the global scenario, due to the war scenario, the overnight situation is not in hands of anyone, right? So because after the overnight situation, when the markets are opening gap down, the strategy might change, because this data, it it gets built on the previous day basis. But when this data gets built and when our markets closed, it's not in control of anybody that what will happen to the Gifty, because global markets can do anything, right? So there might be some days, where this data can not work. So we discussed the game plan, expecting the markets to hit 23 220 on the morning itself, but as pros are long, they will try to protect the markets, but they failed to protect the market. Below 23 500, if we sustain for the first hour, we can further short the markets. We discussed today to short the markets, but clearly if you guys see, right, Morning we opened, we went down till 23 300. It was a good support. We tried to form a base today intraday. We also went up, right? But the moment, I think again we started coming down, and the moment we broke 23 300, it was a bloodbath in the market, right? Sign, we discussed that sign of exhaustion in the gap down, VIX also declining. So this was all morning commentary. Then we mentioned that the first hourly candlestick, and then we mentioned that Bank Nifty's 6 month gain was wiped out in 1 month, even less than 1 month, right? Then OI update we gave below 330, we can again see 23 230, which is the support, right? Then the first hour candlestick which got formed, markets tried to form, the first tried to form some support in the first hour, but I think it broke down. Then we discussed that Nifty last 5 minutes OI change, initial bears running away, bulls getting added, right? Then we mentioned that yes, IT can go bullish, and but today everything got failed today. And the moment we gave this analysis, Nifty rose 100 points from the bottom, but after that, I think after 1 hour, Nifty broke the morning early crucial support below 23,240. 23,240 below 23,218. We have a gap till 22,940. Dollar index, and the major part today was dollar index. We'll discuss the chart of dollar index. Today, dollar index has given a breakout above 100, right? So gold and silver should crack badly, and it is, and they are cracking, right? And in the between, I think some positive news broke out, and I think we saw this move roughly around 2 p.m., but that was not because of positive news. That was basically algorithm being played. Then we discussed that we acknowledge that yes, the data, there was a misinterpretation of data, but all in all, you cannot say that it was a misinterpretation. It was just a proper case of probability, right? We always mention, even we give, whenever we give any price action, right, we mention with it that in the stock markets everything is around and about of probability. Some events might have high probability, and that also we mention that we have a high this event is highly probabilistic, right? Then we mentioned some of the news, and this was the discussion. So today it was a complete bloodbath in the market. If you see, India VIX has closed above the level of 22 on weekly basis, which is not at all good. We'll see India VIX also, and Nifty. If you see, we have corrected by over 500 points today. All right, so let's go and let's start the discussion on weekly basis now. In the last weekly analysis video, if at all you remember, you guys remember, we discussed that we have closed below prior weekly low on the second candle, and the third candle should also be a follow-up candle, right? Technically, we discussed that. If you guys remember, I'll post the link to the last weekly analysis video in the top right section. Do check it out. All right. So we discussed this last time that this is the second scenario where we are closing, and we are closing well on weekly basis. We are closing well below 50 ma, so the target can be 100 weekly ma. We went, I think, till the first weekly candle, we went till prior weekly low. We retraced that, I think. When did we retrace that? If you guys want to see, I'll mark a level here, right? And I think Monday, let me check what was Monday. Monday was, I think, 9th. So 9th, we opened gap down, and 9th and 10th we started to move up. We gave a slight pullback. But I think Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, it was a bloodbath for the markets, right? So we touched prior weekly low, and we took a sharp resistance from that. And it was a proper price action. Why? I'll tell you, because see, as you guys remember that we were discussing from long time that this is a perfect support zone if the markets will try to break this zone. So what the markets did is, the markets in the gap down itself, it broke down on the Monday itself, but we saw a sharp pullback till this point. And as we always discuss that once a zone gets broken out, which was earlier a strong support becomes a strong resistance, we took a sharp resistance from that point. Getting my point, right? So this is what this is what we discussed, and this is what has happened in this week. Now for the next week, if you guys go little back in the history, whenever these kind of candlesticks formed last time was, I think, around COVID. So back to back three candlestick, and the fourth one was even bigger. And even at this point, one, two, three, four, the fourth or fifth candle was bigger. So climax selling still is left in the market. Yes, I repeat myself that climax sell has still not come, and we expect the final and panic bottom in the next week like this, a weekly candlestick like this. And for the markets to form a candlestick like this, the stop loss will be the 50% of prior weekly candlestick. We'll discuss all the levels, right? So the first level which we you should guys you guys should mark. And if you guys look on a broader perspective, things are not at all looking good. From past 6 to 8 months, if you guys remember, we have been discussing that Nifty is trying to make a M pattern on the top, and if this pattern is forming on a bigger time frame, then we have a bigger issue. If you go on monthly time frame, this is a picture perfect pattern, right? And its neckline is roughly coming roughly at 21,700. So markets anyhow should protect 21,700. If 21,700 gets breached down, then I think 20,000 and 15,000 will not be far away. Already we have fallen from 26,000 to 23,000 in the span of 1.5 week, right? So in the span of 1.5 months, sorry, not 1.5 week, in the span of 1.5 month, we have fallen from 26,000 to 23,000. In the span of next 1.5 month, it is very easily possible that we might touch 20,000 in the market. But for that to happen, first we have to breach 22,000, 21,700, right? So on bigger time frames, the markets are not at all looking good, and the kind of closing this week has done, it is very bearish, right? Now mark these levels on your charts also. 23,130, which is I think probably today's daily low. We'll look on the daily time frame. But if you guys see how many weekly candlesticks markets have destroyed in the span of only 3 weeks, if you count from here, I think 20 weeks, these might be roughly around 15 to 20 weeks, and this might be around again around 15 to 20 weeks. So 30 to 35 weeks candles. How much market gained in 30 to 35 weeks? Roughly I think half of the year, more than half of the year. It got retested in 3 months, 3 weeks. So this is a proper sign of a bear market, and we have still not got out of the bear market, and the bear markets are going aggressive, right? And once we break this level on monthly time frame, I'm not trying to scare you guys, but we will enter a multi-year bear market like this, right, traders? So on weekly time frame, let's discuss for next week. The only level which you need to remember is markets. The moment we try to break prior weekly low, which will be roughly around 23,170, the first level, and we are well below this support 23 to 22. So technical support now for me is 22,830. So how to trade this move? The moment on Monday or any of the day, Tuesday, maybe any day, we start to close day early, or maybe too early or 3 early, whatever you follow, below 23,170, try to short the market and trade till 22,880. But for this trade, the SL will be our very famous strategy is marking the 50% of the weekly candlestick. The 50% is roughly 23,700. So this will be a level 23,700. Above 23,700, we have a probability to cover till 24,300, right? So these are the levels. If at all you're shorting here, your stop loss, if at all you're shorting here, your first stop loss will be 23,500. But if at all markets, Nifty, it tries to go above 23,700 and we see a daily closing above it, we will be having a high probability to hit 24,300. So the next week, mostly, I am expecting a follow up like this, and the trigger for this follow up is any move below 23,170. It's a very simple, clean market, right? Although on shorter time frame, it seems slightly difficult, slightly typical, challenging how to trade these markets. But on longer time frames, if you see, and if you have the right amount of patience in the market, then I think you will eventually make money. right? So next week, I think the closing is very bearish. We'll also look at the OI data. If the markets try to breach prior weekly low, I think this candlestick is there, and the support on the downside is first support will be 23,800, but below 23,800, I think markets will go till 22,000, because 22,000 is weekly 200 EMA. And last time we hit weekly 200 EMA was roughly around in 2016. If at all we remove the COVID time, the last time we hit was, I think, 10 years back. So if on weekly time frame 200 EMA is getting hit, it's a very big thing. After 10 years something has happened, then I think at 22,000 at least one support will come, because it is a good support at this point. Third hit, if it happens, I think it should give at least 50% of its pullback. Then the market should be prepared for 20,000 and 18,000. Right? I hope you are getting my point. Let's move to daily time frame. Daily time frame, if you guys see, the markets will look very very oversold to you, but markets can remain oversold for longer period of time, right? It does no, it's written nowhere that markets cannot stay oversold for longer period of time, or RSI can stay oversold on longer period of time. Yes, small pullbacks can come, just like, if at all you remember, I think last week we opened gap down, but we saw a pullback till prior major break, right? So today, if you see, we have a gap above 23,500 till 23,630. So 130 points gap we have, and even if you see on the upside, I think no gaps remaining. It's, I think, about 25,000. This is the gap till 25,150, but that is very far, right? So this is the one gap which is remaining, and markets, I think, will try to recover it. So on Monday, we will also mark 50% of this candlestick, which will be roughly a whole round number level, which will be 23,300. If on Monday, after opening, if the markets they try to cross above 23,300, the first level which you can, okay, this we will discuss on the, I think probably on the hourly time frame it will be better, but on daily time frame, I think, from my perspective, if at all the markets have to stabilize, we might give a pullback like this. I know we called for a pullback here at this point of time also, but shorting at this point of time, it's slightly risky from my perspective, although we cannot do anything if the markets open gap down and they continue to move further, right? So from my perspective, the next weekly range should be, either we should make a continuation pattern like this, and mostly this will happen. But if the markets want to go up, maybe a slight dead cat bounce, then I think markets might make one or two doji daily candlestick like this, take a pause, then do a short covering, and then again, it might come down. So for this short covering, the trigger level will be, we discuss on the weekly time frame, 23,700. Let's go to hourly time frame. From daily perspective also, we have closed again below prior daily low, so that sentiment is very bearish. The scenario, the stance is sell on rise. On hourly basis, we'll discuss on the basis of opening. See, if you see on hourly basis, we are moving in a picture perfect price action. The moment we try to go till hourly 20 MA, 50 MA, we again take a pushback, we again take a resistance. So it is very natural that we might do a pullback till week, hourly 20 MA, a pullback like this, then again we should start to go down, right? But any move, so I'll mark for you this level, any move above 23,340 on Monday or Tuesday can essentially take the markets to 23,500, and I think then if 23,500 is getting hit, markets will definitely try to go for short covering till 620. So how to trade this move? If at all you see on Monday, if at all we open roughly flat, then I think just wait for this no trading range, 23,500, 23,170. Yes, 23,500, 23,170. This will be the no trading range for you, right? Above 23,500. See, I'll not recommend you to trade any bullish move above 23,340, because you can definitely play a very good bullish move above 23,500 for 24,300, which we discussed on weekly time frame. Because what will happen? Understand the price. See, if you will try to go long just after this, the markets might take a resistance at this point, and you might feel trapped, right? What price is saying, understand that. Don't be in a hurry to go long or go short in the market. If at all the markets try to capture 23,500, a small intraday based basis swing can come till 23,700. But we failed to discuss that above which level you can go swing bullish. I think until unless markets do not reclaim 24,000 on the upside, don't try to long on the swing basis. Or maybe 23,500 also you can consider as a, because it's a psychological round number. Until and unless markets capture 23,500, don't try to long the market. And when I say swing bullish, we need a daily closing above 23,500 or 24,000, right? So if at all you guys want to go swing bullish, wait for the 50 percentage retracement, which is 23,700. Above 23,700 I will recommend, if we see a daily closing above 23,700, then you can target for 24,300, which is the prior weekly high. And above 24,300, if we see a weekly closing, next weekly closing, then I think you can positionally go long, keeping a stop loss as prior weekly low, right? If at all you open flat, wait for this range to get broken down. The range is, and even I'm removing this level, the range is 23,500 and 23,170. Below 23,170, you know the levels. Above 23,500, we will definitely go for short covering till 23,700. But still, if I mark you the zones, I will give you a red zone. So this will be a red zone for me. By red zone, I mean that it will be a sharp resistance zone. If at all the markets try to reach this point, the first thought which should come into your mind is shorting the markets, because markets will eventually come down here. And if the markets want to make a bottom, then markets will try to make a bottom. So we have always learned in our price action theory that after a long bear rally, the first pullbacks are always the fake ones. Let the market make a second pullback, let the markets make a W, let the prices breach this neckline, then and only go long here. Because how you will know that this pullback was meant to go long? Because this pullback came, failed, this pullback came, failed, now this pullback came, it might also fail. But at this point of time, if markets try to make a W, then on the break of this neckline, then go long here. That's why I don't ever recommend going long on the first pullback. The first pullback is always the false one. Even if you go in the price action in the past, if you see this price action, see, we saw our long bear rally, the first pullback, it got retraced. Second pullback, on the break of the neckline, we saw a very good bullish momentum. So trade like this. Don't be in a hurry. All right, traders. So if on Monday or Tuesday, if you see a pullback, don't try to long the market here. Try to short the market. Markets will definitely give you a move like this. If after giving a move like this, markets are trying to do this, then by confirmation or by anything, you can go long and target these price action, these levels. All right. I hope the price action is clear to you guys. Let's go to Bank Nifty. And Bank Nifty, what Bank Nifty has done, we have come till the levels which was once an all-time high in the 2024. So I think Bank Nifty has literally crashed from the top. If you want to see what is the percentage of the crash, we were at 61,000. Maybe you can consider this as 62,000, and currently we are at 53,000. So roughly it's a 10 to 12% correction. So it's a bear market. Beyond 20% correction, 20-25% correction, it will be a crash. So Bank Nifty is at a very crucial and major support at this point of time, because if you see 53,000, this was the level which was being hit in 2024, and after the fourth hit, we broke out this level, and first hit, and this is the second hit. So technically, Bank Nifty should make a price action like this. Then the markets will again make this head and shoulders, and Bank Nifty might do this. But at this point of time, yes, I see support for Bank Nifty. But with the strength it is falling, we might also do like this. So the only way to capture this weekly move is plain and simple. And the same strategy will apply here. 50% is, I think, roughly 55,000. Above 50,000 you can see 57,000, and a short covering till 57,700. Let's go on daily time frame. But if at all we breach 53,500 on the downside, the first level you will see is 52,000 and 50,000, and this will be the final euphoria or maybe panic candle which we will see on the weekly time frame. Right, traders? On daily time frame, let's go and see that how the bank nifty can do. And we are well beyond each and every daily moving average, so it's pure carnage which is going on in the markets. As of now, what I'm looking at is we are at a good support. Technically, markets should take a, bank nifty should take a support. The longs will come in bank nifty only above 55,000. Don't even try to touch bank nifty for bullish positions if the markets are not closing daily above 55,000. Above 55,000 you can see, you can easily see 57,000. All right, traders. But my anticipation is we are at a good support. The markets should take a support at least for a week. Markets should, what technically I'll tell you guys what technically market should do is, market should go somewhere roughly around here in the first half up, but it should correct in the second half and it should make a doji. After three big red candlestick, technically we can see a slight pause in the market. Then the markets will decide to fall further or to make a pullback. All right, but it's a probability. You know, if at all the bank nifty wants to fall, it will fall. How to capture it? Any early closing on Monday below 53,600, I think trade till 52,500, 52,000, and below 52,000, 50,000. That's it, simple. Longs will only come over 55,000, right? So this was a discussion on early time frame. If at all you want to see same strategy, if at all you're opening slight gap up, don't trade unless you cross 55,000 on the upside, right? You might say that yes, it's a very big range, but what can I do? Bank nifty is such a huge index, it moves. Yesterday, if at all you guys saw, we fell 1200 points. Today we fell 1300 points. So it's now everyday story. Every day we are falling 1300, 1400 points. What we can do, right? So from my perspective, I think bank nifty and the this major fall is in the nifty is triggered by, if at all you see, it's triggered by bank nifty, right, traders? uh so bank nifty should take a pause, and with bank nifty I think nifty will also take a pause on 15 minutes time frame. If at all you're opening a big gap up, wait for the markets to retest that gap up like till previous day closing, and then try to form a long in the market. But let's check what gift nifty is doing. 100 points, I think bank nifty should open 200 300 points gap up. But if at all on Monday morning, we do not know, because the Asian and Japanese markets are very brutal. Majority of the move, it comes in the morning, in the gift nifty morning first from 6:30 am to 8:30 am only. Getting my point, traders? The scenario is not at all looking good. Now let's go to a multi-sector analysis. All right, for IT, last week we discussed that IT has taken a pause, but if at all we move below prior weekly low, we can go for the beyond levels. I think the next support for Nifty IT also is this only 26,000. So there is further correction left in Nifty IT, but still it's decent. I think the level of correction, if you guys see, it's not that much in Nifty IT because it has already cracked. So as of now, sell on rise in Nifty IT unless and until we close above 30,000. Nifty Auto, it is one of the sector which has actually crashed from the top. And if you guys remember, we discussed that even a double top is forming in Nifty Auto. So keep us. This is the first big candlestick in Nifty Auto. So definitely, I think I expect a follow-up candle like this. So sell on rise for Nifty Auto. Nifty Metal. This is something which I am very much interested to look. So if you guys remember, last week what we discussed about Nifty Metal was that Nifty Metal is trying to make a top. Why? Because the dollar index has started to strengthen, and dollar index has a inverse relationship with the precious metals, gold and silver, and even the metal sector. So this is the first big red candlestick. Expect further correction in Nifty Metal. Keep a sell on rise stance in Nifty Metal. Broader markets, Nifty small cap, I think from my perspective, it's a very bearish closing, and it's the second back-to-back closing for Nifty broader markets for Nifty small cap to close below prior weekly low. So expect in Nifty small cap a follow-up candle, unless and until if something very positive comes from the Middle East. Same situation, sell on rise for mid caps also. All right. Uh, Now India VIX on the weekly time frame has given a multi-week. I think it's the highest closing since April 2025. Almost 11 months. Highest 10-month closing. It's a dangerous scenario for me, and we might do a panic bottom roughly around when the VIX reaches 30. When the VIX will reach at least this level, then only VIX will cool down and do a price action like this. So that's why I am expecting next week to be also panic selling, and which will make the bottom of the market, right? So the dollar index, if at all you want to see, the dollar index has slightly corrected. If at all you want me to go on 15 minutes time frame, if you see today we broke out of the level 100 and we retraced 100, and we are now at roughly around 100.3, right? Us oil has also strengthened because there is volatility in the Middle East. There is uncertainty in the Middle East. So this was the equation of the markets. This was the analysis for the markets for next week. From overall perspective, okay, sorry, my bad. OI data. The change in OI data for Nifty is addition of 2.75 CR of shorts and unwinding of longs. Very bearish data. Total open interest, if you guys want to see today, huge amount of unwinding has happened, and even 23,000 bears, bulls have slightly run away. So major support for next week is 23,000. If at all we break that, 22,800 and 22,500. For Bank Nifty, OI change. See, that's what I'm saying. Today Bank Nifty's data is not that much bearish. 5 lakh addition of longs have happened, but only 10 lakh addition of shorts have happened. So yes, people are expecting a support from Bank Nifty because it's sitting at a support. Right, so data is also very bearish for Nifty, slightly bearish for Bank Nifty. So from overall situation, from charts, and keeping in mind that the broader markets have started to go weak. The IT, if you see, IT is weak, banking is weak, broader markets are weak, metal is weak, auto is weak. So pretty much everything is weak, but we might see a support in banking because it's sitting at a huge support of 53,000. So it will be very crucial to see that where do we bottom next week, where do we bottom out next week. But the overall scenario for the next week is sell on rise, and we will maintain that sell on rise unless and until we cover on the above on the upside the levels which I have told that these will be the levels for 50% retracement. I think for Nifty it's roughly 4,000, above 24,000, above 23,700. I think we can see a short covering till 24,000, but swing bullish longs will only and only come off 24,000. The confidence which bulls need for the move, it will only come above 24,000. And for Bank Nifty, no longs, no thinking of longs unless we cross above and close daily above 55,000. That's it. All right, traders. I hope you have liked the analysis, and if you are watching till this point of time, and if you have not liked the video, or if you have not subscribed to the channel, like the video, subscribe to the channel, share it with your trader friends if you like the analysis. Stay safe in the market.